Thank you to Mayor Hancock and the Denver GLBT Commission for the privilege of accepting this award on behalf of Matt Kailey. It is an honor to participate in the recognition of the accomplishments and contributions of the legendary Mr. Matt Kailey. I met Matt through our mutual activities of volunteering at the Gender Identity Center of Colorado back in the 90s. When I first met Matt, he was still early in his transition and just beginning his growing passion to support the transgender community. At the time, he was running the Transmasculine Support Group at the Gender Identity Center and did so for many years, as well as group facilitation workshops and supporting the board. We fast became good friends, and I'm better for having known him. He was kind and patient with me as he mentored me at the beginning of my identity as a transgender ally. We learned, grew, and laughed together throughout the years. I recognized and appreciated his many talents, but particularly enjoyed being around someone with his kindness, his dry humor, and his unwavering integrity. I celebrated with him when he self-published his first book, Tranifesto, and rejoiced when it was finally picked up by a publishing company and retitled Just Add Hormones. Although he has since written many great award-winning books, articles, and his blog Tranifesto, it is his book, Just Add Hormones, that is, and most likely always will be, my first recommendation to all my clients, friends, students, and colleagues who wish to better understand the transgender experience. It was a thrill to me when he took the advice and inspiration of one of my family members to finally quit his job and become a full-time writer. He became an award-winning professional writer, editor, and public speaker known to the LGBT community, especially the transgender community, throughout the world. He gave keynote speeches and a multitude of workshops across the U.S., was in 5 documentary films, and eventually became a college professor. I had the good fortune of having lunch with him just 2 days before he died. At that lunch, I was singing his praises, as I often did, when he adamantly yet sheepishly smiled and stated, as he always did with me, "Karen, I'm not as famous as you say I am." Mr. Kailey, I respectfully disagreed with you that day, as I always did, and am now affirmed in my belief. As word of Matt's passing spread over social media, I spent days clinging to the online outpouring of stories and gratitude of the thousands of lives he touched. I saw postings from all over the world, some in other languages. Despite Matt Kailey's many accomplishments, it is who he was that has left a legacy that teaches us how to empower, embrace, and celebrate the beautiful diversity of gender identity and expression. Like many brilliant artists and legends, he died nearly penniless because he gave it all to the transgender community. Though he was sometimes paid for his efforts, his contributions and attention to the needs of the transgender community were always given freely and usually without compensation. No matter how successful and well-known he became, he was humble and never too busy or important to answer the hundreds of messages, emails, letters, and phone calls he received, begging for his guidance and advice. There are many great transgender leaders, but Matt left a great legacy of written words that will benefit the world for years to come. However, his greatest gift was his unassuming leadership and his quiet example of how to be gracious and respectful to all who needed his help. It was his witty humor and his legendary humility that will be what I remember most. Although Matt never did any of his great work for awards or recognition, I know that he is somewhere quietly and humbly grateful for this award and pleased to know that he made a difference.